these are some of the things that we think about when we want to improve our photography. For one reason or the other, we feel that our photography is just not good enough. But taking that next step of improving our photography can be really daunting, and it can feel like there's a huge gap, huge barrier for us to get past. And for a lot of photographers, especially beginners, this can be very, very daunting, and a lot of us even give up. A lot of people think about gear, the latest camera, the latest lens, the latest filter, presets, and so on, and think this will improve our photography, when in fact, it's all about our eye, how we train our eye, and how we see the world around us. Can we capture those frames that pass by us every single day in an interesting way that allows the viewer to step into our world, the world how we see it? So training our mind to see the frames around us in the environment that we're in is ultimately what we're trying to do here. No camera, no lens, no preset, not the latest laptop is going to help you fix this. Not even I can help you fix this, but I can try and guide you along the way and give you tips and tools that will help you improve your photography step by step. So a lot of people think that they don't have enough time to improve their photography. Well, the only way you're going to improve something is by putting in the time and the energy to improve it. If you're learning to play the piano, you need to put in time and energy, reading books, learning about music, and playing the piano. When you started out riding a bike, most of us can ride a bike, you needed to put in the time and the effort to ride that bike. When you drive a car, the same principles apply. When you're doing photography, you need to put the hours in. You need to hit that shutter button. You need to get out there and train your mind to see the type of frames that interest you and capture those frames and then let them out into the public if you wish. A lot of people think that they don't have time. So how can you find time to improve your photography? Well, here's a practical tip for you. Implement photography into your daily routine. It's a lot simpler than you think. So implementing photography into your daily commute will drastically help you put those hours in and improve your photography. So maybe you go to work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, for example, and you catch the bus or you catch the tube, the train, whatever it might be. You might even cycle to work. Take your camera with you every single day and get off the tube, the train, the bus, park your bike a couple of blocks away, take your camera out and walk the rest of the way to work. Catch that morning light, catch the hustle and bustle of people rushing to work, grabbing coffees, getting in and out of taxis and so on. There's so much going on. And I tell you what, it will set you up beautifully for the rest of the day. Also, if you have too much going on in the morning, maybe kids rushing to school, dropping them off, rushing to work and so on, you can also do this in your lunch break. You can go out for that hour, you can grab something to eat, and you can walk the streets and take those pictures. There's so much going on, and it's a great way to implement photography into your day. If you can't do it at lunchtime for whatever reason, you want to catch up with colleagues or just have some time to yourself, because it's the only time of the day where you have time to yourself, do the photography journey on the way home. Catch the bus, get off halfway before you get home, and just pull out the camera. You'll catch that lovely evening light. People are a bit more relaxed and less in a rush, and it's a great way of de-stressing after a long day at work. I remember when I used to do my 9 to 5 and I used to pull out my camera and take it on my way home from work, and yeah, at start it was a bit, out of my routine. I wanted to get home, get changed, get in the gym, blah 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 blah, but just an extra half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour of walking through the streets, capturing people, honing my skill of photography, falling in love with photography every time I hit that shutter button. It's a beautiful way to de-stress. And I know a lot of people lot of photographers that do this after work. They take their camera with them and they go out there and they put in the steps and put in the reps and they hit that shutter button and they learn each time they do. It's a fantastic way of adding photography to your daily routine, honing in your skills and getting better at photography. So doing this will add so many more frames to your catalog, to your library, and you're just putting in so many more reps and so many more hours. As the months go past, you'll see a huge difference, a massive difference in your photography, and you'll start to wonder, hey, why didn't I do this sooner? And if you're working from home, like me, I work from home quite a lot of remote workers out there, it's a great way to just break up the day. You know, just grab your camera, just go for a walk, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, and just take your camera with you. Take those frames, start to hone your skills, look at the light, look at the different light patterns, abstract shots, getting people interacting with the environment. It's a fantastic way to improve your photography, adding photography to your daily routine. Okay, so I'm just going to jump into this video very quickly and let you know about my London guide that's coming out very shortly. There'll be a link below this video to this guide. It's over 10 plus years of me walking around the streets of London, all the different areas. I've got GPS locations and what time of day to be there and how to capture them, talk about equipment, camera body, lenses, and so on. It's a fantastic guide that you can just have on your phone, flick through it, you can read it on the tube, you can look at it at home, and you can take it out with you when you're in London and it will tell you exactly where to go. It will be me in your pocket. So check that out. Let's get back to the video. Getting inspiration for your photography is key. Well, it's definitely key for me, and people get inspiration from all sorts of places. Some people get inspiration when they're in the shower, some people do it when they're cooking, and some people do it on social media, scrolling through TikTok or Instagram or whatever it might be, or looking at photography blogs, websites, and so on. Personally, I get my inspiration from photography books. I love them. I love photography books, and I'd highly recommend that you get some photography books yourself. There's a huge difference in looking at a photographer's work on Instagram to looking at the same photographer's work in the photo book. And the main difference for me is that you haven't got all the distractions of your mobile phone. It's not popping up with emails and WhatsApp messages, and you're not looking at the like count and looking at the comments, and there's not all these other things popping up that your phone does. It's just there to distract you, right? To keep you glued in, locked in, and Instagram will be chucking all sorts of stuff at you. But you're at a coffee table, you've got your tea, your coffee, your drink of choice, whatever it might be, and you've got a photography book with you. You just look at it differently. You just feel into it differently. The colors, the shapes, the light patterns, text that goes with it is all very different. It's real. You can touch it, you can feel it, you can feel the pages folding, the sound of the pages folding. You just take it in a lot more. There's a different pace of viewing a photographer's work as well. So photography books can be quite expensive, so I would list a couple down below that I would recommend, and yeah, just grab some and take a look. If you can't grab them, or you don't want to grab them for whatever reason, go to a photography bookstore, or not a photography bookstore, go to a bookstore that has a photography section and check out some of the books. If there's one that you like, maybe get that, or go down your local library and see their photography section and just sit with the book and take that photographer's work in. Finding your style of photography. So it's kind of going back to what we were just speaking about, looking at photographers' work and getting inspiration. When you look at all these different types of photographers, there will be certain styles of photography that stand out to you. It might be abstract, it might be, people moving through the environment, it might be minimalist, it could be anything. It could be black and white, it could be color. And once you feel the type of photography that you're interested in, then it's about you going out there and trying to take those kind of photos, find those frames in your environment. Here I would always stick to one focal length. Don't jump around with a zoom lens and go from a 28 to a 85 and so on. A focal length that I love is my 50mm. I have a 50mm and I have a 28mm that I use majority of the time. A really nice sweet spot between the two is a 35mm. It's a great lens for street photography. It's just wide enough to capture the environment around you, but you can still get in there and single out individuals. So if there is a type of photographer that you've taken inspiration from, work out what kind of lens they're using. I mean, most photographers will tell you what kind of lens they're using, for example, and then get that lens and then go out there and try that style of photography. Now, I don't mean go and copy that style of photography. Well, that would be really, really hard unless you lived and went to every single frame that photographer took the photo. But get inspiration and add your own sort of flair and style to it. If you like what you're capturing, then keep on going, keep exploring, keep going, keep finding those frames around you. And the more you do it, the deeper you'll get into that style of photography. So this process can take a lot of time, and it's not something that you want to rush through. It's something you want to enjoy. You're exploring. There's no end game here. You're just finding out what works for you. And along this journey, your interests will probably change. It's almost like your taste in food will almost change. Are you just going to eat French food for the rest of your life? No, you'll probably try some Japanese food along the way and be like, oh, I like a bit of that. I'm gonna eat more Japanese food. So don't be too harsh on yourself and don't restrict yourself. Go with the flow and see where the stream of photography creativity takes you. So just keep going. Don't give up. You'll get there. You'll get to your style. You'll get to your way of photography. You'll get to your flow. And one of the biggest tips that I can give you is that don't compare yourself to other people's work. Just compare yourself to who you were yesterday or last week or last month. Has your photography improved? Are you enjoying it more? Or are you just looking at other photographers and comparing yourself and looking at the latest camera and the latest lens that you can get and thinking that will improve your photography? It won't. Trust me. Get out there in your environment and look for those frames, hit that shutter button, get that data back on your computer and analyze it and look at it and think, how can I improve this? How could I have made this frame better? Does it speak to me? Is this style fulfilling my creative needs? These are the kind of questions that are really going to help you improve your photography. So once you've put the days in, the weeks, the months, the years, and you've selected a lens and you've stuck with it because it connects with you, it allows you to capture a wide environment. If you're on a wide, like a 28mm, you're going to get a lot more of the environment around you, whereas if you were working with a 50 or 85mm, you're going to capture a slice of the environment. Once you put the hours in and the years go past, you'll really start to develop a photography style. And if you look through your galleries to how you were doing things previously, you will definitely see a difference. So if you look at Vivian Mayer's work, she used a Rolleiflex camera and it had an 80mm lens on it, and it's equivalent to today's shorter lenses, which would be like a 35mm. So looking at her work, you can see that it all has a consistent look to it, a consistent feel. And this lens allows her to single out characters, but also capture the environment around the character, so you can see what's going on. Is the story behind each frame. Also, this 35mm is very adaptable, so you can see in some of her photos that she has more than one subject. Like you can see here, there's multiple subjects in the photo, and you can see the environment. So going back to what I was saying before, 35mm is a fantastic lens for street photography. And then when you look at somebody else like Soul Lighter, you can see that he uses a 50mm lens. Now there's not much difference, but there's definitely a difference in the photography. You can see that it's much more condensed, and it's much more a slice of the environment rather than the environment itself. He's only capturing one, maybe two people in his frame, and as you're only getting a slice of the environment, it's a much more abstract feel to his photography. So my advice here is basically to pick a focal length and shoot with it for a day or two. Actually, shoot with it for a week. A day or two is not going to do anything. And before you decide to buy this lens, you can easily hire it or rent it out, or even borrow it from a friend. Shoot with it for a week, take it to work with you, shoot on your way to work, your lunch break, or your way home. Put the time and effort in and see if this lens will work for you. If it doesn't, if you try the 35mm and it doesn't, and you feel like you like to capture more of the environment and you like to be right in there close up to people, then go for a 28mm. Try a 28mm. Or if you're somebody that likes to stand further away and capture the environment from a few meters away, then go for a 50mm. Or if you want to be further away, then go for an 85mm. Just put the hours in and practice with that lens, and go out there and see if it connects with you. And my final tip for beginner photographers, people just starting out, or anyone that's just trying to get into photography, is to not put too much pressure on yourself. Stop looking at what everyone else is doing. Stop thinking about, that guy's got a photo book or an exhibition out. Who am I? You're just another person just trying to be creative. You're not trying to be the next biggest thing in photography, or maybe you are. It is good to have big goals, but right now you're just starting out and you're just getting into the flow. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't compare yourself. Just go out there and explore. Be a kid. A kid doesn't care about what the other person is doing or who's achieved what. They're really just in the moment with their toy, with their camera, and they're exploring the environment around us. Do that. And don't worry about people looking at you with your camera. Be a tourist. Take pictures. You're not doing anything wrong here. Enjoy this creative outlet that you have, and be grateful for it. A lot of people, they don't have any creative outlet, but you do. You're a very, very gifted person. Keep going. Don't give up. No matter what voices or what thoughts come across your mind, just keep going. You're doing this for yourself and nobody else. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up here. I hope some of these tips helped you out. Leave a comment below and I'll catch you on the next video.